Yo YouTube, it's your bro Elliott Hulse here, back with the third video in my 7-video series on the principles of gaining strength and muscle. And today we're going to talk about repetitions, because every time we pick something up, we're engaging in this principle. We pick it up once, that's one repetition. If you're going for a mile walk, that may be, I don't know, a couple of hundred up to 1,000 repetitions of walking. So you see they're both repetitions. A max effort squat is a repetition of 1. But a long walk or maybe an endurance set where you may have up to, like I say, 100 sets. In fact, one of the best training programs I've ever followed for building muscle require that I lift the weight 100 times. It's definitely a routine that I would suggest everybody try at least once. High repetitions are great for building muscle. Now, if we're wanting to build strength, like I mentioned in the previous video, we want to keep our intensity high. And if our intensity is high, that means that our repetitions are not going to be as high. You simply can't do a 100% repetition more than once, maybe twice, which makes it not necessarily your 100%. We want to work within that rep range once again when we build strength. You want to be up in the, or down in the lower repetition tier. So 100, 90, maybe even 85. These are going to support your strength endeavors. But now when we start getting into the 8 to 12 to up to 20, maybe 25 repetitions, we got to bring the intensity down. So this video dovetails from the previous video, because now we know that if we want to up our repetitions so that we can up our muscle mass, we got to bring the intensity down a little bit. So when training in a bodybuilding fashion, building more muscle, my favorite rep range is between 8 and 12. Most recently, I've been working between 15 and 25 as well. I think that you can build muscle with any of those repetitions, granted that you're coming close to, the word would be failure, right? Or perceived exertion. You get to the point where maybe you have 1 or 2 repetitions left in the bucket, like you might say, right? And so if that's the case, if we're lifting high reps and we want to elicit a muscle growth response or a hypertrophy response, what we want is to work with repetitions that, it doesn't matter how many repetitions, but we want to work within a rep range that that elicits a response, but maybe we back off a rep or 2. And so we can continue to build muscle, hypertrophy, what you would call like sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, or muscle pump. It gets filled with blood and different fluids within the body. We want to give the muscles those high repetitions, a lot of work. So once again, just talking in terms of a scale from one end of the spectrum where we're eliciting a muscular response to the other end of the spectrum where we're eliciting a strength response, we just think in terms of lower reps for the strength, higher reps for the muscle building. With this principle in tow and the previous 3 videos I've just shared, you are on your way to building your own training routine regardless. You will have the tools through this series in order to piece together your own program or modify other programs in order to get what you want. For example, if you're following a basic 5x5 routine, you're using moderate reps, moderate sets, and moderate to higher intensity weights. You'll build muscle, you'll build strength, but if you wanted to just enhance that program a little bit, you may choose a few exercises that stimulate muscles that maybe you're a little behind on, and you can use higher repetitions just to stimulate some of that pump. There are those that say that a pump isn't necessary to build muscle. In a way, you're right, but at the same time, there is a tremendous benefit to lifting in rep ranges that fill your muscle up with tissue. So I hope that helps you and allows you to modify or design your own programs so that you can be the biggest, strongest, most badass bodybuilder / power lifter, power builder, if you will, right? Combine the two through these principles. Next video, I'll be back. We'll be talking about the principle of sets. See you there.